Hi, my name's Andrew. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to focus on Middle East seed capital investors, and this is a series of videos on investor profiles that are part of my Middle East fundraising database. The guide to Middle East capital includes the following. It has 325 company names, key contacts, the type of business, sectors of potential investment interest, websites, company emails, key contact emails, and key outreach strategy points. And the database will be delivered in Excel spreadsheet format. Some key database statistics: about 185 or 57% of the companies are based in the UAE, 60 companies are based in Saudi Arabia, and 125 companies are either venture capital, private equity, or angel investor groups, so that's about 40%. This is the best database for first-time fundraising in the Middle East. This video highlights SEEDRA Ventures in Saudi Arabia, and they are one of 325 venture capital, private equity, angel groups, and investment companies in my exclusive Middle East fundraising database. Company snapshot: they're based in Saudi Arabia and they're classified as an investment company, venture capital firm. Their focus is on technology, fintech, and venture capital opportunities. Company description: SEEDRA Ventures is an early-stage venture capital firm branching out of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and focusing on cultivating disruptive innovations and trends across the region. Company focus, investor approach, and strategy. SEEDRA Ventures, an early-stage venture capital firm based in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, is committed to cultivating disruptive innovations and trends across the region. The firm actively participates in the economic transformation, aiming to promote innovation, finance the development of new products and technologies, and support local entrepreneurs and early-stage businesses. SEEDRA Ventures focuses on creating a complete venture ecosystem by providing financing and hands-on development support from pre-seed to Series A stages. Investment focus: SEEDRA Ventures invests in companies at various stages, ranging from pre-seed to Series A and beyond. The firm is particularly engaged in building startups from inception through its pre-seed investments, providing fertile grounds for exploration, creation, and thriving. Additionally, SEEDRA Ventures supports early-stage ventures, backing bold entrepreneurs, challenging industry norms, and reshaping sectors through technology. Geographic reach: as a venture capital firm based in Saudi Arabia, SEEDRA Ventures concentrates its efforts on the local and regional ecosystem. The firm is actively involved in fostering innovation and supporting economic transformation within the Saudi Arabian and broader Middle Eastern context. And here are some of their previous investments. Potential investment opportunities to approach them with. You're going to see my Excel spreadsheet and databases coming up very shortly, and I've outlined all 325 companies and tried to provide 3 key areas that you might want to use to approach these firms with. Now, this does not mean that they're ready to invest in them today or tomorrow. It just means that there's a history and a habit, and that these are the type of areas that you can look at that they would focus in on. Now, given their past investment patterns and existing philosophy, you might want to propose the following investment opportunities: fintech, health tech, and technology. So those are 3 broad areas, but if you keep that in mind, then also go to their website, check their press releases to see what else they've looked. But by putting these in the database actually really helps you just start to work on some targets and some potential areas to focus in on, and it also helps you creating your outreach letters when it's time to contact them. Now, speaking of that, what makes my database unique is that it includes the tips for investor outreach. There is no database like this that does this, and I actually created this particular database and this feature for people who are going to be initiating their first time of fundraising in the Middle East. Raising funds in the Middle East is completely different than in the West, and you have to take certain steps, and there's a certain way that you really should do it to make sure that you make your efforts the most effective. So how are you going to do that? Well, you have to build relationships in the Middle East, and it's best to start at the associate level, investment advisor, and director levels. Those are the people that normally are going to evaluate investment opportunities that come, whether it's a pitch deck for a startup or whether it's a real estate investment opportunity that's a $50 million, $100 million or more development project, hotel, commercial, office, no matter what. Generally, you do not send these type of opportunities to CEOs and chairmen. In fact, most of the time, you're not sending them any presentation in your first outreach, and it's really, really key. The average venture capital or investment company in the Middle East receives anywhere from 50 to 100 presentations a day. Yes, that's a day, because I used to sit in that same desk with the advisory firm that I worked for, and believe it or not, they just pour in day after day after day, 365 days a year. There is no end to it. So if you actually use some tips when you're on the other side wanting to present to them, then you'll have a better chance of getting their attention. So how do you do that? Well, key outreach touch points, if you know who the contact is. Now, when you see the Excel spreadsheet coming up, you're going to see that I have it loaded with senior contacts such as CEO, chairman, founders, partners. Those are great contacts to have on this database, but they're there for you to use at your next stage, not at your initial stage. So it's really, really important that you keep that in mind. So again, you want to contact associates, investor level, investment advisors, directors, maybe vice presidents, and try not to go too much further than that. And your key outreach touch point in this case could be SEEDRA's commitment to transformative investments is notable. We would like to discuss an opportunity that we believe matches your investment strategy. So that's a good key line to put in the email. You can be sure that if that's in maybe the second sentence after you've done your first introduction, and then your next sentence after this could be 3 or 4 bullet points of what you want to discuss without asking for funds, of course. It's going to be more effective. They know it's not a spam email, and it's going to actually stand out, because of the 50 to 100 emails that they're going to get every day, they're going to be cut and paste kind of spammy presentations, and they're going to get looked at, but they're not going to get looked at as seriously as somebody who knows what they're doing and is professional in their approach. Now, if you don't know who the contact is and you're not ready to hit the chairman and the CEO and the founder yet, there's another strategy. I have loaded this database with a large amount of HR contacts, and also you're going to have info at and admin at contacts. Plus, many of these venture capital firms use online contact sheets, so they don't have their email. You're going to actually have to cut and paste your professional message into them. So how do you do that? Well, use these tips. For example, in this case, your subject heading could be exploring potential opportunities with SEEDRA Ventures, and then your key email approach line may include, we believe our proposal aligns well with your approach. Who might we discuss with at SEEDRA Ventures? Now, if you send that to their HR manager or their HR department, they're going to do one of two things. First, they're going to see that it's a professional letter and it's not just a spam that talks about the great opportunity and what it is. It's more tailored. They're going to either reply to you with the name of the contact, their title, and their email address, or they're going to send it to that right person right off the bat. Now, that's a great thing for you, because if an email comes from my HR manager and I'm an associate or an investment advisor or a director, I'm going to deal with it. Why? Because, well, an HR manager in almost all organizations is above intermediate employees. In fact, sometimes they're even directly underneath CEO level. So you know that it's going to be addressed, and that's really key, because then you're going to get some information. That person's going to get back to you. Remember, this is not a situation where you've sent them any presentation. It's just a, hi, I'm the person at XYZ company that you should contact. Please get back to me. Now you've started communication with them. Now it's time for you to do a few things. One, you want to explore the focus of their company. You've already have that access. You've got it on the email through the website. You've got information in this database that's going to help you out with that, with key areas that they might want to look at. Now, you're going to want to, in that first email, understand their internal process. In other words, how do you at SEEDRA Ventures handle deal flow? And that person that's contacting you is going to give you information on the process, and it might be a lot easier even to pick up the phone and have a conversation with them. Now, when I was working in the Middle East, Dubai specifically, I helped develop our company database for this purpose. The reason being is we were a large advisory firm, and we were dealing with ultra high net worth individuals and groups, and ultra high net worth was the key word in there. So these are people that were either on the buy side or on the sell side of deals that we were helping them with. Now, if it was a buy side, that means that this individual or company came in and said, we're looking to buy a hotel, we're looking to buy land for development, we're looking to invest in commercial properties either in the UAE, the GCC, or even in Europe, Asia, and the Americas. So what we needed to do with our database was know who to contact for those type of opportunities. Now, that's on the buy side. That's one thing. So we needed to kind of have a bit of an idea of what these companies, what assets they had. And now, on the sell side of things, we would have similar ultra high net worth groups. Sometimes it's an individual wanting to sell a small hotel or a small office or a residential block, or it could have been a company wanting to sell something large. Our typical deals went from $50 million to $250 million. In other words, we didn't deal with the small stuff. So in order to do that, we needed to be able to build relationships with people in the database, very much like what you will need to do. And that is a really, really good approach, because it does not make sense for us to send that $250 million hotel asset opportunity that we, by the way, we have exclusive mandates for these. So it didn't make any sense to send that to someone that said that they're only looking at residential developments under $50 million, because then you make yourself look bad. And that's, if you keep these things in mind, this is going to be really helpful for you to build relationships with fundraisers in the Middle East. It's really going to help you when it comes to your own fundraising. So let's take a look at the database. So now we're over on the database section, and this is the Excel spreadsheet that includes all the contacts in the Middle East capital database. And as you can see on the very top, we've got 325 companies. We have their country, description of the firm, their main business interests, their websites, and they've all been verified. And of course, this database will be suitable for all of 2024. I also have included their investment targets, 1 and 2 and 3. So those are based on information that is publicly known, information that is on their websites of different investments and types of sectors that they will look at. So again, this database is really meant for people who are building a larger data set of Middle East companies to either approach for funding or to possibly promote their products to, because there's a blend of venture capital, private equity, family investment offices, and investment companies, and high-profile companies in the UAE that are led by UAE nationals. So it's a really great database for companies that really want to get a very good look at some of the key parties in the Middle East when it comes to raising capital. It also has their investment territory, which includes whether they're just looking at either the Middle East or whether they're looking MENA or whether they're looking global. I've also included their key real estate assets. If they're investment companies that tend to look at real estate, I've included those as well in this database. Now, it also has, as far as key touch points, it has their company emails, and in some cases it's not available because they want you to actually submit your details via their forum. But I'll get to the key stats a little bit later on, and you also saw that in the initial slide presentation. Telephone numbers and contact numbers. There are 2 what I call primary contacts, and then there's a third, which is the secondary contacts. The key contacts could include CEOs, managing directors, executive directors, and that is the same with the second contact title. You can see operations manager, directors of real estate, presidents, and so on and so on. And the main reason for that is so that you have a senior contact that you can reach out to. You can also check them on LinkedIn to get more details. In many cases, their email addresses have already been included, and I'm going to get to that again when we go to the stats page. And the third email contact tends to be somebody in HR. And the reason I've done that is because this database is very unique in the fact that I include outreach approach tips for each of these firms. There are two types. One is a outreach touch point if you know who the contact is. In other words, if it's been already identified by myself, then you could send them a line that I've included here in all the companies. For example, Saudi has a strong track record in urban development in Kuwait. Would you be interested in a unique investment opportunity that complements your portfolio? And the reason I include these is to help people write their first letters, and also to show you that you should not be spamming this type of list with just a generic email approach talking about your company and the investment opportunity. This allows you to add a little bit of information about them, so whoever receives it is going to know that you did a little bit of work, and it should not be considered a spam. And the second reason here is I've got contact sourcing outreach approach, and this is if you do not know who the contact is. And this is really key because in some cases you may not have a contact, and this is the perfect way for you to introduce yourself. For example, in this case I put subject request for direct contact with investment division, and then as the body of the email may include, I believe you might be the right person to assist me. We're exploring potential investment opportunities that align with Salia's investments vision. Could you direct us to the person or team responsible for evaluating such opportunities? And you can see as I scroll down here, it is included in that type of line. They're all customized, of course. The same with the ones for the direct contacts that are known. They actually talk about something the company has done, something they've invested in, the sectors, or possibly what their company vision is. And this is really going to help you, especially if you're doing first-time fundraising, or if you just want to save time when it comes to your research for these type of firms. That's what makes this database unique. Another thing that makes it unique is it really sticks to mainly the type of companies that are either venture capital, private equity, investment companies. So there's no fluff in here. There's no companies in here that should not be in here. And that is the difference between this database and other databases that are out there that talk about investments and reaching out to other investors. For example, there's very little here when it comes to accelerators. There might be a couple of them, but it's not plugged full of what I would call just garbage contacts. These are really key companies that are perfect for reaching out to, whether you're raising funds or whether you want to present opportunities, whether it's real estate, investment opportunities, and the like. So let's take a look at some of the stats. So the underlying stats are there's 470 firms, 340 prime contacts, 90 third tier contacts, and 90 email contacts when it comes to the third tier. So you're getting about 400 and a little over 450 emails, and the total company emails are 275. So those would be info at, admin at, that sort. So that's a really key overview of the database. Again, this is going to be a series where I'm going to highlight each of the contacts. For more information on this database, contact www.dubaiinvestorslist.com. That's dubaiinvestorslist.com. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe.